Alright, so this is the login screen for the Slickpocket app. Login, the back end is handled on the cloud, so you need to have an account first. So if you don't have an account, we can quickly create one now. So I'll just make a fake one, just customer apps slickpocket.com. We've got validations. If we try and hit like sign up now, it won't actually let you sign up. So, right, so I'm just going to redo this because I had an issue the first time. So if we're creating an account, so I'll do Mark just because it's a nice short name. Mark at I'll just put Mark at Carlisle. So it's not a real email address, but it's just to show that it has to be validated for as a proper email address. So we'll just put password again. D, sign up. There we go, and we've signed you in that account. So the back end is actually hired through Firebase, which is a Google sort of cloud service. So the apps on here, on all the items, are actually connected to the API, which is separate. But that was kind of more for what was available to us. But we can use everything through Google Firebase. If we wanted, we could upload the products to Firebase, and they could just pull them there. But at the minute, they're separated.
No, that's good. So obviously, so the API was provided, wasn't it, and you had to communicate with that API. So you went above and beyond in terms of implementing this database feature in there, which is good. So it's extra criterion, something that wasn't taught in the module either. Cool. It's really good.
Right, there we go. It does work, I promise. 1, 2, 3. Sign in, there we go. So this is the main product page. We've got the list of all the products here.
Okay.
And then we've got a sign out at the top if you wanted to like sign out and then log into another account. So this is currently what an admin account would look like. So they have like full control over everything that's there. We can filter products. If we press this top left button, it comes up at the bottom saying for all items priced between $9.99 and $49.99. That's on there, and the icon fills as well. So if you look at the screen and that message goes away, you know that there's a filter on. If you're wondering why all the products are missing, we can search for products. We've got a search bar getting at part of the product title.
Right.
So we've got a couple of games in here that all have evil in. So if we search not even the full word, we'll just put VIL in. It'll sort of filter by the products, and then we can click on the item itself, and it'll take us to an individual item.
Okay,
the basket feature doesn't work at the minute, but it does. We can press the button to imply that it's going somewhere, and then we'll go back to the products. We'll start with the contact us page. So we've got a contact form here. So if the customer wants to make like a query to company, they can do that, and this has validation, but it doesn't go anywhere at the minute, so it won't show. And then if they want to like find out potentially where the location is, we've got a picture of the map here, but if we press the map, it takes us to the location, and the map is dynamic, so they can sort of just
cool
from there, and we can go back and back again to the main screen. So if we wanted to add an item, we can add an item here. Again, we've got validation in, so we'll have to have proper things. So we'll just put a test product up. Test. Price has to be in normal decimals, so if we just put a 9 in, it still won't accept it, so we'll have to put like a normal price in, so we'll say $9.99. Stock is just any number, so we'll just put 1, 2, 3 in, and we can enter a quick description as well. Description, add product, and it'll say a product added, and hopefully, yep, it appears at the bottom there.
Correct.
And then alter item. We can edit items and delete them, so we can just go back to that bottom item there. Edit the item. We can just call it test. I don't know, test 2, just for the sake of showing that it tested. Automatically fill. So if you don't want to enter, if you're happy with everything else but only one thing, it's automatically filled the text, so you don't need to like enter it all again.
Yeah.
Update the product. Again, it'll slight glitch with it. It'll come up that it hasn't updated, but if we scroll down to the bottom, it has updated.
Right.
And if we want to delete the product, simply just press delete. and then that's a product deleted.
Cool.
Other features that we're potentially going to include in the future is this star, which is like a wish list feature.
Right.
It has not fully implemented, but if we try and click the star there, it'll dynamically sort of light up, and then that would hopefully take you to a wish list page that would thing. And yeah, that's the app. That's pretty much all the functionality.
Well done. It's really good. Okay, so a couple of questions then. So first question, what did you develop this in?
Flutter, Flutter and Dart language. It was originally I was planning maybe to do it in Xamarin and C#, but I thought I would get more support using Flutter, so I've decided to use Flutter and Dart.
Great, okay. And how did you find the use of Flutter?
At the beginning it was really difficult because in anything I've sort of done in the past, I've had to develop UI elements and the back end separately, but everything in this seemed to have to be combined into one. You would have to develop the UI alongside the functionality, which was a very difficult learning curve, especially early on.
Yeah.
But the last sort of couple of weeks I've really sort of enjoyed doing it this way. Good. And I'm really happy with what I've produced.
Yeah, it's great. In terms of, if I was to give you, or an employer was to give you a similar activity as this, how would you say on a scale of 1 to 10, confidence levels, so 10 being most confident, 1 being least confident, where would you sit yourself?
Probably about a 7, actually, somewhere like 7 or 8, I think. If it was just something basic at that level, at that basic, I would be, I think, quite comfortable with sort of making something like that.
Okay. Core functionality wise, so obviously you've got create, read, update and delete in there. Yeah. So that's the core of most apps, so it's really good you've got that in there. So I would say, because I think you've been a bit reserved in terms of saying it's a simple app, I think you've done really well.
Right, okay.
I still think you've been a bit harsh on yourself. No, I think it's really good. Final question then, so what challenges have you faced and how have you overcome those?
So when I started, originally we had problems with the computers in here, so a lot of the times it just wasn't either connecting to a device, so we had to run it through either an emulator or through a web page, which meant that the functionality wasn't the layouts weren't in a way that it would look fine on the web or it would fine on an emulator, but then you would put it on a device and it would look completely different. The layouts would be changed. When I started developing at home, I initially made a Flutter setup at home and it worked, but I was going to be working away for a day. I was going to be somewhere outside of the college, so I set it on a laptop that would work, but in the interim it had updated from Flutter 2 to Flutter version 3, and Flutter version 3 didn't seem to be compatible with any of the sort of, I just kept getting errors after errors, so if I was trying to work it outside of anything that I'd already set up, I couldn't do it basically. So there was only a limited time frame and limited locations that I could actually work on the app.
Cool, okay. I did say final question, but I'm going to ask you one more, sorry. Takeaway skills from the module in general. So what have you taken away from experiencing this and building this app?
How to research finding code that is usable. So there was a lot of times the search bar feature, I was really struggling with that, and I didn't know what kind of queries to even put on things like Stack Overflow and medium.com for guides on how to make it, and then it really kind of I really had to sit down and understand and read and understand everything that was trying to be taught me, regex as well for the validation. I spent about 7 or 8 hours just sitting down hammering my head against it, going right, I need to understand this so that it can work. So research skills and how to develop and to give me the confidence that I can actually sort of do something on my own back without asking for help.
It's good to hear. Confidence is the key thing I want you to take away. I think perseverance as well, because if you're saying you've dealt with errors yourself as well. That's perseverance rather than getting frustrated and just giving up. It's a really good skill to have that, and I think it reflects on what you produced.
Cool.
That's it. Well done.
Well, thank you very much.